Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, what do you do? This one, the devil horns? Yeah, yeah.
Well, actually, it's people call it the devil horns, but Ronnie James Dio said that evidently he was the first one to do this, and he said it was actually his mother was, I think, from Sicily, right, or maybe some other
Uh,
region in Italy, and she said that no, actually, this was his grandmother. That he was walking along with his grandmother when he was a little boy, and that there was some woman that gave them a dirty look or gave his grandmother a dirty look, and she went like this. So this is actually what you do to counteract the evil eye.
oh, cool.
Yeah, but of course it's come to be like, the metal symbol. And so of course metal being, there was a satanic panic of course in the 80s. And so that's when this became the devil horns.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's good. Learning the past of the hand gesture. That's cool.
Well, I mean, a lot of people, like, or yeah, especially youngins, people that weren't alive during the Satanic Panic, don't understand the absolute insanity that was going on at that time. Where Dungeons and Dragons and
Yeah, I
heavy
remember
metal
hearing about it. I've seen YouTube videos about it. So, were you like alive for that? Were you like a
Oh
kid?
yeah, 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 yeah. I
Okay.
was into Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
I remember.
everyone thought you were a little satanic kid.
No, but I mean, I was fat, I was pale, I was into Black Sabbath. Wore a lot of black because Ozzy wore black, and because black is also slimming. So it
Yeah.
shrank my man boobs, which were already rather prominent at that age. But yeah, there was a 60-minute special where they just came right out and said that Dungeons and Dragons leads to self deletion. That it will cause your kids to self delete themselves. I hate that we have to talk like all this baby talk and everything on
Oh yeah. But
YouTube, but
it's funny. That's not. It still feels like that kind of stuff is happening today, but maybe it's not as bad as back then. Not with Dungeons and Dragons, but just anything. There's always like a group psychosis freak out about something.
well, they're cyclical.
Yeah.
There was a really good book that I can't remember the name of it about the Satanic Panic, and it was about the cyclical nature of witch hunts and
Mm.
how you can and witch crazes and how they just come around every few decades. And my goodness, we're just wrapping up one, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah. There's been from multiple angles, and you always it's like curious what's next. Even what's the next thing that everyone's gonna hate or whatever, but be scared of.
Right. And whatever. I mean, like you look at something like the Harry Potter novels, right? Which
Yeah.
are inspired by the C.S. Lewis Chronicles of Narnia, right?
Yeah.
And J.K. Rowling has been very open and says that she's a Christian and that these are sort of Christian books. Uh, but there was a movement to ban those, but then Disney bought the movie rights, and then suddenly the media, which had been starting to ramp up a war and a hysteria against these books, suddenly became interestingly silent.
Yeah. Well, and then what's funny now is like it's even like multiple layers to it or whatever because now it's like an anti-trans book or whatever. Like that's the war, and it's getting again kind of like demonized or whatever. And I think
Well,
the new round of movies they might do that weird thing where they sort of appropriate it as revenge, kind of.
yeah, well, I mean, that's more about J.K. Rowling personally. It's not the books. They call her a TERF, which means trans exclusionary something or another.
Radical feminist. I
Radical
know that one.
feminist.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's hard to keep up with all those terminology. But I watched friends of mine who are just like, oh no. I mean, they love these books, and now they can't read them because then their friends will socially isolate them,
Yeah.
or if they read them, they have to read them in private. You know,
Yeah.
which is just wild. It's just like somebody is always trying to control what other people are thinking or reading. The Roald Dahl books; those just recently got censored. I have a bookstore actually right next door to me, and I saw that they had some of the Roald Dahl novels, and I was just like, "Oh, well, I never read James and the Giant Peach. I never read the Fantastic Mr. Fox." And I asked, "Are these the censored or the unmolested versions?" And they were like, "What?" Like they didn't even know.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
was,
yeah, I have a friend who's my parents' age, so we're just sort of friends. He's older and
yeah.
he works at the local community college, and he came over and he's looking at my bookshelf one day. He's like very literary, and he was telling me, he's like, I like to collect banned books, so if you got anything, let me know. And I was thinking, like, for one, that's like cool, but also he's a phony because he's super liberal, and when he says that, he means books that the right doesn't like, then he will get the left ones. But I'm
So
like,
like,
yeah, I'm like, dude, you got to get James and Giant Peach. You got to get like Beloved or whatever. You got to get all those like left wing books that get censored by the
well,
left wing or whatever. But
well, the thing that's crazy is that I'm a leftist myself. I'm what would be considered a classical liberal, right?
yeah,
uh and I, all my friends that say that I moved to the right, I'm like, I didn't move, you moved.
yeah,
It's just like it used to be a liberal ideal to be against censorship and to be pro first speech and pro First Amendment, and not so much anymore. And so
yeah.
now they call me a what's the term, a free speech absolutist, like
Oh, that's
that's
funny.
a bad thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I feel pretty much exactly the same as you. Feel like I thought all this stuff was like left wing, and it wasn't. And then some of me is like, was it ever like, was left wing ever cool? Maybe they were always just faking it, or they were always a little lame or whatever.
Well, they look, the left wingers that I know or knew, because we don't talk anymore. At some point or another, I pissed them off by not hating the right people, or for talking to my neighbors. Right? I've discovered, you're not supposed to talk to your neighbor if they voted for the wrong person.
Yeah,
Um, I'm really just at the point where I'm just like, wow, it's just like I don't think anybody in America ever even really thoroughly believed in freedom of speech and expression. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know. It's just it's been disappointing. a lot of a lot of
yeah.
a lot of people have disappointed me. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it too. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't even know. I was thinking like I'm kind of at a phase where I've just kind of digested everything and I don't care anymore. And if you
Yeah.
say you don't care, that will also get you ostracized by left
Mm,
wingers. They're like, it's your privilege to not care. How can you say you don't care? These things are very important in the world, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, you got to think what I think, or else you're stupid or
right.
whatever.
Right. Or
I'm
you're
like,
my
I
enemy.
no, I'm like, no, I don't care. I don't watch the news anymore. I silenced all the Twitter news stuff.
Yep.
But yeah. We can talk more about this. This is interesting, but I want everyone to know, people filtering in here. Thanks everyone for being here, talking with Brian Kreisgau,
What's up, everybody?
who's been around since the beginning. Many may know his book. It's Six Gun Gorilla, and the campaign that's live right now is volume 2 trade paperback.
Yes.
And
The
it's in
Great
demand, so
Silence.
it's been live for a while, but we just kind of want to update and let people know that it's out there. And maybe I was thinking we could like interview you a little bit because
Thanks,
I
brother. I do appreciate it greatly. And yeah, this
yeah.
is the continuation of a campaign that I originally launched on Indiegogo, but F Indiegogo because, well, they shadow ban my friends. And so also Luke started this wonderful platform, fundmycomics.com. And well, I'm a strong believer that it's a site that we need to get behind because Luke doesn't care about your politics. And whether you're left or right or whatever, right? It's just about comics.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's like speaking of like from 2014 to 2024 was insane. And then
Yes.
you can now kind of get in arguments over whether you're like it's not insane anymore. It's time to be optimistic. Things are healing or versus some people are like, "No, it's still bad. How dare you say it's possibly getting better?" And I don't know.
I really thought that my like lockstep Democrat friends, I really thought that they would handle things better this time. It's like, I don't like Trump either. I just haven't allowed him to destroy my ability at critical thinking.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just like, what? You don't think he's the literal Antichrist, right? Then
Yeah.
you're not against him. You're with him. You're with those people. But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, it's madness, sheer madness. But then again, I went to university during the late '80s and early '90s, where there was this thing that emerged called political correctness. And I remember how people in the English Lit department treated me when I came in and mentioned the big book that was being discussed at that moment was American Psycho, which was condemned as a how-to manual on how to do awful things to women. And I had read it, and first of all, just admitting that you read it got you a lot of dirty looks. And then I was kind of like, those sort of like, you read that? I'm like, yeah. And actually, I think it's an instant classic.
Yeah.
And they were like,
they just did an article like a week ago or something, and it was called like Red Flag Books, and that was like number one on the list. So that's speaking of being cyclical, it's totally come back. And this is what I heard, but you tell me, you might know more about this, but they're remaking American Psycho. And what they're saying is that that's going to be another one where they sort of get revenge on the audience for liking it by like making it, they're like, it won't be a fun comedy, dark comedy anymore. They're going to make it like a disgusting, terrible movie that nobody will like. And they'll be like, see, told you it's terrible or whatever. Like,
but I mean, the original novel is like an attack on '80s materialism. It's an anti-yuppie book, right? But it's just like they don't. This is the thing about censors. Censors are people that don't do nuance, right?
Yeah.
And they can't wrap their head around. They're like, oh well, the protagonist of the novel thinks like this and behaves like this, so that means the author must be endorsing their behavior, which is insane, right? Completely batshit fucking crazy. But some people just think like that.
Yeah. It's totally like anti-art, I guess, or
it's like anti-intellectual.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, and it kind of breeds, if you fall for that, it kind of breeds a environment that is terrible. You'll have an era. This kind of happened in 2014, 2024. You kind of have the era of cowards in the mainstream where nobody's really making anything good, kind of.
No balls whatsoever. Poor Jason Aaron, a guy that I really respected, a guy who did a book called Scalped, which was basically like a mafia drama set on a Native American reservation.
Yeah,
brilliant little indie book, fantastic. And then he's working for Marvel, and then of course he gives Thor a sex change operation, and just when he was doing the Conan book for Marvel, I still can't believe like what was Marvel thinking getting the license for Conan, right, at that time, and every month apologizing for the most ludicrous crap, like God forbid there should be some skin in like a Conan book, right?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I don't know. It was the era. Well, so this is what's bothering me a little bit is like I'm like, are they still cowards? Like these, like, because this is how I see kind of the mainstream is there was a generation that got grandfathered in when all the woke shit hit. Yeah. And so it's all these people kind of looking over their shoulders being like, oh, damn, like shit's getting real here. And it's all like the younger Gen X people. Like, so it's like the generation below Mark Miller, basically, like those guys. Yeah. And and those ones, they're a lot of them are actually nice, but they're the ones who are like cowards, basically. Yeah. And they like, and they like ruined the industry because they pulled up the ladders behind them, shut everything down, like got super apologetic, super scared, doing anything they could to just get by. And it killed the industry. And now I'm like, okay, when are they going to stop doing that? Like, when are they going to be actually like interested in making good comics?
When are they going to get their balls back?
Yeah,
Right.
and it's the things are looking up though. Even if I say that, I feel like, and some of it just happens naturally, but like comics have been getting better, even in the mainstream. So
Well, that's because thank God we're, the wokeness has jumped the shark, right? It's over. For cinema and television, we're still going to have about a year of stuff coming out, right? Because
yeah,
it takes what, 2 to 3 years minimum usually to make like a motion picture, right?
yeah,
So there's going to be that backlog. Like the Ironheart series is going to be airing soon, and
yeah.
there's going to be
That's
a
it's
little bit
funny
of
you
that.
could tell what's woke, like because woke will go like a step or two beyond what you would ever imagine, kind of.
Yeah,
So
because it's
like,
angry. It's
yeah,
angry.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it would be like if you cast a black girl in a lead, that's not woke. Woke is casting like a kind of ugly black girl who does not look like a teenager. She looks like 50 years old, and that's
Yeah,
woke.
it's just it's madness. It's very anti-intellectual. It's very anti-art.
Uh-huh.
It's very dystopian. It's a very dystopian form of thinking. And it's just like the people that went that way, it's just like I don't know that I can ever look at them the same way again because art to me is sacred and storytelling sacred. That stuff helped me survive as a child.
Yeah,
I never would have made it through junior high school and high school if it hadn't been for the comic books and the novels and the movies and all that stuff that buoyed my spirit. But they have a more sort of utilitarian attitude towards art, I suppose. It's
yeah. You know what's frustrating too is like early Comicsgate, which like it's obviously it's totally changed, but
oh yeah, that's gone.
early Comicsgate was kind of this bastion of anti-cancel culture.
Yes,
That was kind of a good little movement in itself.
hell yeah.
And I remember these people, and it was the suspect generation too, that the younger Gen X people, and they were saying they're like Comicsgate is anti-art. I'm like, you are anti-art, dude. We're the ones literally
Yes,
trying to save art.
yes.
Goddamn.
Because
Yeah.
to me, Comicsgate was about artistic freedom and no censorship, where you can just do your thing and
Yeah.
not worry. Because I mean, let's face it, it's like then I hear the people saying, "Yeah, but like comics were always political," and I'm just like, well, yes, in the sense that they often had political subtexts. But what these fools did was they took the subtext and they made it the text. So they took the cart and they put it in front of the horse. And that's why there's now what's going to be remembered as a kind of a dark age for American comic books. About a 10-year stretch where the mainstream was just producing nothing but absolute dog dookie. I mean, can you imagine anybody reading those except maybe out of some kind of like historical interest? I certainly can't imagine anybody holding those comics close to their heart the way that we did with the stuff that we grew up with. Oh no, Narwhal's frozen. Police squad. Man, nothing but internet problems. Hi, everybody. It's the Brian Show. Yes, I've taken control of Narwhal's channel and his stream. It belongs to me now. So I'm just going to hang out and just yammer on about whatever I feel like yammering on about. Now, what's going to happen? Is he going to pop back in, or is he going to, or do I drop out? Let me shoot him a quick message. Actually, since I am here ostensibly to pimp the book, yeah, Michael Deitch, exactly. Yep, there's a difference between clever political subtext and overt ham-fisted propaganda. Yes, exactly. Right? It's like with something like Planet of the Apes when I was a little kid. I thought it was like this cool action adventure sci-fi story about these astronauts that land on a planet that's dominated by apes, where they have evolved and become the dominant species on Earth, and human beings have become like these brutes, right? And it works absolutely fine on that level. Then when I was like, I don't know, in my early teens or approaching my early teens, I remember seeing it again and going, wait a second, this is about racism. And it is. And if you read the original Pierre Boulle novel, it very clearly is about racism. It's a, you know, it's one group of talking apes considering itself superior to another group of talking apes just because they look different. And then the Vietnam War, right? But they, you know, they worked as, if you just want to take it as just an adventure story, that's cool. So yeah, do you think Based Art Department says, so yeah, do you think you'll be back at Garden State or no after all that has gone down? It was fun talking last year and I was curious who might be there again. I don't know when that's I don't know when that's happening. I'll go. I'll tell you what, if a certain urinal liquor is there, I would like to have a conversation with them because, you know, if you have a problem with me, I am a very peaceable guy. I am a very reasonable guy. I like to have conversations, especially with people that I disagree with. But don't, you know, follow me around with your phone filming me. If you have an issue with me, come and talk to me. But well, yeah, we'll see. Oh, end of June? Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. I'll probably make that. It'll be interesting for sure. But yeah, I miss conventions. I miss conventions a lot. I haven't done one since before the lockdown. Yeah, homeboy says that his internet is down again. Let me ask him if I should just drop out. I just drop out or keep the stream running. Because this is homeboy's channel. I don't want to pull in outer limits, right? And just seize control of his channel for nefarious purposes. But yeah, look, I had a yeah, no, Based Art Department. I had a bunch of lovely conversations with people. I was giving out comics. It was cool. You know, the vibe was really nice. It was great talking to some of my fellow comics creators, some of my fellow indie comics creators, and things like conventions are important, right? It's kind of you know, I understand everything's on Zoom, everything's virtual these days, but there's something about eye to eye and actually being in a room with somebody or just in the same physical space with somebody. That's a completely different experience. But yeah, while I'm waiting for Pear to reply to my message, let's take a little look. Let's take a little peek at, let's see. Yeah, you can tell I came prepared today, didn't you? Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at the new the new 6-gun Gorilla. If I can actually even bring that up. God, I'm such a spaz. Let's see here. But yeah, you know, I probably will be showing up to that. Oh yeah, I should mention also that with the new 6-gun Gorilla, that it is finally done. That it is finally finished. That I have gotten the last pages in, colored and lettered, and you know, it's weird and it's freaky because it's like I want to show everybody those last pages to let them know, like, the book is done. It's on its way. Well, soon, you know, hopefully going to be fulfilling next month or the month after. But let's see. Actually, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Let me share screen. There we go. Okay, so there it is. Oh wait, I have no power. It's just me. I can't share it. My ability to mess with Paris channel has been severely limited. But yeah, I'm just glad to have this thing done. It is in the can, and now it's just a matter of you know, getting it printed and shipped out. I'm going to be working with our boy RJ. He's going to be handling fulfillment, which is great. I'm not going to have to pack Gemini mailers and everything. Although there is something that's a little satisfying about that, about getting that, opening your front door, and seeing those stacks of boxes of your books. There's a definite romance to that. That's for sure. Let's see. You talked about FMC. Have you seen the newsprint press campaign from Peter Simeti? Think you'll ever print on newsprint? I would love to print on newsprint. That would be fantastic. Money's been a little tight for me. I haven't been able to back everything that I'd like to be backing because I'm getting ready to fulfill on a campaign that's almost, 2 years late. I mean, not to make any excuses, but as an explanation, my artist, my boy Preston, his house blew up, or I think got destroyed by a tornado. I mean, same difference. I also lost my home due to foreclosure because I had to quit my job to take care of my mom when she got sick, and that just wiped out my savings and everything. And yeah, she broke rule number 1 in America: don't get sick. But the book is finally done, and I can't wait to get it into people's hands. And then I just got the word from my boy Adam Lawson in 2026. I've got a book coming out called Blood Moon Stomp. Basically, my boy Adam Lawson came to me. He had read a comic script I wrote called Tequila Moonrise, and he asked me, which is about Mexican wrestlers fighting monsters, and he said, "Hey, would you you seem to know a lot about wrestling? Would you be interested in writing The Wrestler Meets The Shining?" And I was like, yes, yes, thank you. And so that's been Diallo did the pencils, and I think, and the inks, I think, and then there's colors by Mike Spicer. So, and it's going to be it's not going to be a crowdfunded book. It's actually going to be in brick and mortar bookstores, like Simon and Schuster. Like a sub label of Simon & Schuster is going to be printing that. So your boy's going to be legit, which is weird and kind of creepy and scary, but awesome too. And when I got the news, I found out, oh, that's great. When's this going down? 2026. And being a selfish ingrate, I was like, 2026? We have to wait till 2026? Damn it. This is just some bullshit. Yeah, Based Art Department says, working with some great people. Have you worked with Spartan Scott? Oh, yeah, I haven't worked with Scott's, but I love that dude. He, of course, I know him through my brother Sim. Sim right now has got a campaign that is called Hell Zone, which is basically kind of like Event Horizon meets the Doom movie if the Doom movie were actually good. So go check that out and support that. Right now, indie comics needs your dollar more than ever before. Anyway, I think I'm going to peace out because this just feels wrong. I'm taking up poor Bear's airtime. But everybody, thank you so much for tuning in, and hope to catch up with you soon. Yeah, we've had several long conversations into the night since he's on the West Coast and I'm on the East. Oh, yeah, oh, dude, don't even get me freaking started. Yeah. No, I mean, I've got peeps that I've worked with that are on the West Coast and I'm on the East. And yeah, it's just like a meeting for them that runs to 3 o'clock. It's just like, yeah, mofo, that meeting runs to 6 o'clock in the morning for me. I mean, I'm a night person to begin with, but yeah, that does it does create some problems. But yeah, hey, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Go check out Six Gun Gorilla Volume 2 trade paperback on funnycomic.com. While you're there, also check out some of the other dope campaigns. Don't just back my book. I mean, of course, I would love for you to back my book, but just try and back indie comics in general right now, because money is tight and people don't have that discretionary income. And there are campaigns out there that are just really struggling just even to get across the finish line. So try to support those. And then, of course, if you have an LCS near you, mine actually just closed. I went to get, the new issues of second issue of Vatican City and the first issue of the sequel to Huck. And I went to my LCS. My LCS ain't there no more. Closed down. Supposedly they're moving, but they haven't reappeared yet in their new location. So keeping my fingers crossed. These are, Dickensian times. Very Tale Two Cities, best of times and worst of times at the same time. But I really am feeling optimistic about the future of comics. I do really feel like it's not the end. That with the death of Diamond and everything, I really do believe deeply in my heart that American comics are going to make a comeback, and that there are brighter days ahead. There just needs to be a little reconfiguring. That's all. But we'll figure it out. It's all good. But anyway, everybody, be kind to yourselves and each other, and peace and love. Bye-bye.